What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? What's going on this episode? I think it's 91, 92, 93, guys. The episode's going so far, we can't even keep count, guys. Right here, we got a different look, man. You guys, thank you guys for support. Thank you guys for always hit that like and that share button. Tonight's episode's a little different. Tonight we got this not a rapper. This is an entrepreneur in the community. Also somebody who just happened to be running for the Orangeburg County Sheriff Department, Mr. Darnell Johnson, aka Bubba. So for tonight, it's going to be called Bubba or Darnell.
Bubba's what everybody know me about.
Bubba's everybody know you about. Yes. Okay, so everybody, so Bubba, let's we get this thing started. I'm gonna tell you how this interview happened. It's a young lady, she won't me to say her name, but it's a whole bunch of sisters. So now, so you know what you're talking about. So she's like, Marvin, you need to do another podcast. She said, I'll be doing something good, another good interview. I said, okay. And as she said that, this young man here was walking the Grinch down in handcuffs. And she said, you need to invite Bubba on. And I reached out to Bubba, he glad to say he would do it. So Bubba, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, thanks for the opportunity.
No problem, man.
Just love to talk to the community, about anything that's going on and just pretty much letting them know who I am because, my goal is always to, reach someone that I don't know on a daily basis. I know a lot of people, so it's kind of weird when you say, meet someone that I don't. But for starters, I'm born and raised here in Orangeburg, South Carolina, all my life. Got many years of law enforcement experience, also business experience as well. Graduated Orangeburg School District, actually, Orangeburg School District number 5. Back in the day, so sound kind of like a dinosaur a little bit.
But before we go too fast, let me tell you something. One thing I'm gonna tell you something about Orangeburg County people. They're probably elementary school. So what elementary school did you attend?
Whitaker Elementary.
Whitaker Elementary. Shout out to Whitaker on the Parkway. So you went to Whitaker. So if somebody was to say, about to ask one of your teachers, what kind of child was Bubba at elementary school?
Well, you can find this Miss Johnson, Miss Bubba, it goes back to the years of the Just Ain't No Club,
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, those folks are community staples, and they actually brought me forth, and it's often said that it takes a village to raise a child.
Correct.
I always tell folks in today's time, although I'm 40 years old, you have to have a tolerance. There's a time when you're an adult, and there's a time you need to turn it off and turn back into a child, so you can actually have a teachable and learnable spirit.
Correct.
So you can learn something on the journey. But thank God for those two ladies because it takes me back like it was just yesterday. Now that you say it, and as I go forward, it's just so much that I learned from those two ladies. It's the academic community yesterday.
There's always those elementary school teachers that make a difference. So that means you went to Whitaker. That means you're gonna go into Howard Middle School.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Howard Middle School.
Yes.
So when you were in middle school, did you play any sports? Play ball?
Actually, I did play football for 2 years. On the Alpha team with Coach Williams at the time.
I know Coach Williams.
Coach, I believe Howard Williams. He says went on to be, he says deceased. However, all with his sons, Dustin and Carl, deceased now as well.
They were my coaches.
So yeah, God bless them. Absolutely. But I mean, that's a tight-knit family, man. So going back to that, it takes a village to raise,
yes, it is.
A child, and I saw Elson just recently at a veterans event at North Orangeburg Church. He made sure I did see him at first when I walked in, but he made sure I saw him, as I'm walking out. So every time I see Coach, he lying.
Hey, that's him. Hey, all right. Come in. And so the coach says, okay, so you play football. Okay, so after that, so how was your? So I don't know how you describe it, but what would the teacher say about you in middle school?
Just a troublemaker. I'll tell you, I was a troublemaker. Plus, my daddy didn't play that.
Oh, so you just kept it.
Kept it straight. I didn't bump into no trouble till maybe about high school.
Okay.
Maybe my little green year. Just being transparent.
High school get us all. So you went to W. So when you went to W, who was the principal at that time? You went to W. Who was your principal?
We go Miss Benson at that time. I'm
trying to tell you. Yes. Okay, so how would you describe? I tell people, well, even though now I tell the young kids, they go to W, but they don't realize how big. I mean, me and you. Well, I'm 3-4 years younger than you, but the mass OW, I tell people, OW was Big 16, which means that they were one of the 5. They were one of the biggest 16 schools in the state.
Yes, sir.
to go from that to 2 or 3, whatever they are now, it's a big difference.
I marched on the band for many years. I think at our peak year, we marched, I think, 310 million.
I believe it.
It was insane. It was impressive.
I believe
St.
it.
Louis, Orangeburg, South Carolina, going to get schools like Wando and Dorman,
Yep.
and those folks will pull up with 5, 6 track trailers and
them.
10 motor coaches.
That was them. In high school.
Yes, sir.
And that's what they don't get in high school.
That's it.
So your high school experience was like pretty good.
Well, yeah, for the most part, like I said, up to that 11th grade year, I guess life has those challenges, but you keep on living, you're gonna learn something on the job.
So when you were in high school, that's 11th, 12th grade, did you kind of have an idea of like, I think I want to go this direction in life? Like, I think I might want to be, like, cross career wise. What did you kind of see yourself being at that point? Like,
it's amazing you asked that question.
Mm-hmm.
I had a class, an economics class at Technology Center,
Mm-hmm.
and shame on me, but I don't remember my instructor's name.
Mm-hmm.
But she taught us personal finance.
Mm-hmm.
So in personal finance, they had us write up a plan that showed us what type of career we want to go into, and then see if we can actually live for sustainability of life.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, my job that I chose in our project, because I think that was our overall project for the class itself.
Okay.
So in that class, I actually chose that I wanted to be a South Carolina Highway Patrol.
Wow.
I printed my project from top to bottom. I mean, they had to break it down to the parts of salary,
Mm-hmm.
what your bills will cost, what your housing will cost. So economics actually did that at the time. And I'm not quite certain if the district still teaches that today, but that was very handy too. So I was at the time, I was also in the criminal justice program at the Technology Center with Michael Charlie was the instructor.
He was there for a long time.
Yeah, he was the deputy sheriff. He's a pastor now.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in St. Matthews as well as North.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Deputy Charlie.
Yeah.
At the time, I still call him Deputy Charlie.
You put out with the school. We didn't call him something. We called him Officer Charlie.
Yeah, that's how it taps on the shit.
That's him. That's him. So, what made you know at an early age that you wanted to go toward? What was your intriguement with law enforcement, even at that early age of 11th grade? Like, what was your?
It was something different about law enforcement back in the day, because you had a lot of programs which you had community outreach.
Correct.
Where the community was involved.
Correct.
I mean, law enforcement was involved with the community very heavily. I have a cousin that was a deputy sheriff at the time, Jerome Bell.
Okay.
From Branchville community, and every time I would see him, I was all being intrigued. Like I used to ride with him. I used to hunt him out. I said, I'm gonna ride with you. Just something about just hearing that. Back in the day, they used to have them rolling lights.
Yeah. Oh man. You going way back. You going way back. You're way back. So okay. So see, intrigued. So you go. You're taking those classes early. Yes. So what happened after graduation? Where does put us at graduation?
Well, after graduation from high school, I was summoned to the United States Marine Corps.
Ain't no summons. You signed up for the Marine Corps. There's no summons that these over with.
Yes, sir. And I was on the way to Paris, South Carolina. I was still trying to figure out how and why and how come. But as I look back over life now, I don't have any regrets for my decision that I made.
Okay, so what made you pick the Marine branch?
Well, my best friend, Dave.
Okay.
He was signed up. Matter of fact, at the time, I think it was our drum major at the time. He was our drum major, but he was a couple of years ahead of us. But he wound up getting out and going to once he get out. Once he graduated high school, and he went on to the Marine Corps himself.
Okay.
And we actually wind up. He went on to the Marine Corps, became a sergeant, got promoted amongst the ranks, and came back as our recruiter. So I say, first, we had to listen to this guy, Brandon Jameson. He's my insurance guy now too, from businesses. So this guy still kind of sticking with me over the years. So great life, man. Thank God for it. But Brandon Jameson, like I said, he was the recruit at the time. My best friend was going to the Marine Corps without a shadow of a doubt, but he was 17, so his mom had signed out the Corps. Yep. Like I said, his name is David Fields. And pretty much grew up like a brother right next door to each other. So he said I was going, and Sergeant Jameson at the time, with Brandon, present day. But he said, you guys can go to the buddy program. I'm like, wait, buddies? Like, yeah, let's go together. I said, okay, this is going to be a very interesting year. Now, mind you, we were in Paris Island, South Carolina in July of 2002. When I tell you it baked.
I bet it did. Hey, did the famous sand nets get you?
Yes, sir.
The world famous Paris Island sand nets. Yes. Every Marine I know has a story about the sand, and you better not hit your hand.
You better not hit your leg. Yes, sir. You know, believe it or not, that's where these broad shoulders came from. Between, yeah.
I'm setting that something else. So you do your time.
Yes.
I hear so. You must say do time. You serve the country.
Yes.
You serve the people. Okay, so you did Marines. Did you do 4, 8, 12?
I did a total of 4 years in the Marine Corps, and I did another 7 in the South Carolina Army National Guard. Because during that time, in South Carolina Army National Guard had a program called Marine Degree. It was the name of the program. So it was like, hey, you can come over, and you don't have to go back to the boot camp, and you'll simply catch. Everybody say, we just do the realistic in the Marine Corps, really. But it came back and said, well, wait a minute, we need a affiliation bonus. It was offering some good money. So we wound up, me and my friend.
Same buddy system.
Same buddy system. And get the catch. The same fellow who put us in the Marine Corps had been transitioned over to National Guard and put us in the.
Hey, y'all stay together the whole time.
Yes, sir. They still together yet.
Man.
Yes, sir.
So that's called. So everybody know it. So everybody who's seen the flyer, you seen Bubba, you say the 15 years of law enforcement. Yes. So after you serve the country,
yes,
for a total of what is that?
It's right
11 years?
Right 12 years.
12 years?
Yes, sir.
Please excuse that man. 12 years.
Yes.
So you decide the next step, I want to go into law enforcement. Not just law enforcement, you want to be a change in the community.
Yes.
Which I tell people, I'm gonna let you explain on it, but I tell people when they see all the stuff is going on in the nation, all these cops, well, we'll just say yeah, just been around the nation. I told somebody from Orangeburg County, you don't know what that is. Because most likely the cop, you know him. If you know him, you don't see him at a game, you don't see him at a game. There's not much of like it's I guess more of a relaxed state versus the bigger cities. Yes. I've noticed more you see in southern, you don't see all the stuff happening in southern cities because like the cops is your homeboy brother, or somebody you see at the football games. Yes. So I'm actually doing it at that time. What made you decided to join the local police force, public safety?
It came back full circle. It took me honestly back in the day to my technology course of economics 101. Again, in my mind, I was saying I want to be a South Carolina. But during that time, South Carolina Higher Patrol had a tattoo policy.
They sure did.
So I came out the Marine Corps, on the journey, and I had tattoos out the sleeve. So I said, man, I'm gonna think about something else. I said I always wanted to be a trooper. So again, I went going to Orangeburg Public Safety, which Orangeburg Public Safety is a very interesting dynamic, a very actually impressive dynamic. It's very unique to some, but we didn't just do law enforcement, we did fire service as well, so we had to do certifications. And believe it or not, I never thought in my life I would ever be a firefighter, but I spent 5 years at that agency, and like I said, fire service and law enforcement in full circle, going back to law enforcement point. I still feel like when I just saw the fire trucks going down the road in Somalia, and I wanted to jump in and help. Like, hey, what y'all here? I saw the counseling route, so I'm like, oh.
I do got a question about that, and I'm pretty sure the public safety guys will love this question.
Yes.
Well, I have an uncle, shout out my uncle Henry, who was a retired. Well, he went from fireman to fire marshal to I think fire deputy. Uncle Henry, I'm saying it wrong. Please forgive me. But he was something. He just had. He went over. He was a fire marshal. He became something else. Gotcha. He just had a desk job. But do you think now this question is also like a policy question? So like I think of this guy's like, why does Orangeburg, or maybe because the manpower, why do our guys do both? We not just have this a fire department and a police department. And those guys pay matches doing, you might answer and I can't answer. Do those guys pay matches that they do both of those things? But they're compensated.
That's a great question. When it comes to that component of fire service as well as law enforcement, the pay never matched. Now, do we understand why at that time the city of Orangeburg made a budgetary or financial decision on that matter? We don't know the financial state because we weren't privileged to those types of conversations. Okay. But honestly, 2001 was very impressive. But that's how you know it wasn't about the money because you showed up everything. Every time tones dropped, it was spreading either out of the station or into the station to get a secondary engine out. It was pure heart, and nobody missed a step. Running. When help called, it was running. It was like a cheetah coming around the field.
I must admit, guys, I lived in the Orangeburg County area, and I live in the city. And I must admit, and something were wrong, man, it don't take them long. I must admit that for the city.
Yes.
Okay. So you do that experience, And did you find that to be a satisfying experience?
It really was because honestly, I've always had a fear of heights. That's my weakness, fear of heights. But every time fire tones would drop, and it'll be a second, we had to go get a secondary entry. Sometimes we work in the law enforcement side. You kind of you get the concept that you kind of ran into the phone booth and change your clothes, like kind of play some land game, except we didn't have a phone booth, we had a trunk of So, but all of that builds the leader in a person because it wasn't like your supervisor was there to babysit you pulling up to the station to get the secondary engine out. So that secondary engine, my secondary engine of choice or truck of choice was a ladder truck, which spanned a little bit 800 foot. So I used to always go to station 2 at the time right here in Chestnut, break out and go get the ladder truck and put it in. You couldn't tell me nothing. You come stroking.
Man, that's a weird efficient fish going up a goddamn 100-foot ladder.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And I remember it good. I remember my captain asked me at the time, he's captain Ed Conner, he's assistant chief now. And we rescued a guy from the top construction worker from the top of a building at South Carolina State University. And he was just so impressed how I navigated that ladder truck in between the buildings to get it there. But I had to yell the whole time.
Hold on. So okay. So hold on. And we're gonna get the CDL later too. But so where does the CDL happen at? In between, where's the CDL?
So actually I got my CDL immediately after I got out of the Marine Corps. I was going to $12 training school in Charlotte at Schneider National trucking company. You probably see one in the States on these trucks you can't miss. But however, I had a situation involving my children. They were 1 and 3 years old at the time, and like I said, that was still my early years transition from Marine Corps to the National Guard. So in that time, I had school. So that's where the $12 training school came in at, in regards to that portion. So shortly thereafter, I wanted to get custody of my children. So I said, well, wait a minute, I can't get out here and live like that. So so that kind of got interrupted. So I started doing more part-time work on the side to kind of stuff, pretty much stuff.
But at that time, you already got the CDL.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. So that was my hidden secret, even still for many years. Wow.
You talk about a Trump card, no point intended. Oh, yeah, did I mention that? I left that out. I got CDL.
Yeah.
See, okay. So you drove that is a cheat code. I'm not gonna lie. That is okay, but hey, that's why God gives us a favor.
Yes.
So you do that. So how long was your stint with public safety?
My stint with public safety was roughly 5 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So 5 years, and for the most part, was it fulfilling? So we all know a lot. We all know a lot of our public services are very underpaid. So we know that. But would you say that the job was fulfilling, self-fulfilling? You'll say.
At that time, public safety was definitely fulfilling because our police concept was community police. So they drove that. Drove. If you wasn't community policing, you wasn't policing back then. Every time somebody see you on a traffic stop, there's a whole business of police. No. That's pretty much that public contact and public engagement because you'll see them one time and just because they're on the side of the road, that don't mean they will actually get.
Correct.
You may be out there, might have been out there sharing more information with them, about other community events and things like that. I was the warning thing, I may have a season that I write a bunch of tickets because I was a high producer in the agency at the time. And then, there's awesome times that, I was, kind of write a lot of warnings. But, my supervisor at the time used to kind of get upset because he thought I was being funny, but, there was a balance to community police aspect, and that's the good part about it.
But if people remember that.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
If people very much so remember that.
Yes.
Okay, so you do your time. Is it 15 years? You do your time. Now the public safety, what's the step after that?
We went to North Charleston Police Department.
Man.
Yes. Now I have reached that now in Branchville Police Department. And I can be honest.
No offense against Branchville. I ain't never Branchville had a police department.
Yes, sir. Understand. But stop. Speaking of Branchville, under direction Chief Randy Clark, he's still active today.
Okay.
And I promise you, that may have been my best time in law enforcement. It was a clean environment. You knew the people. It matched up to the community-oriented policing concept 100%. There's been times that you've been on duty by yourself. And guess what? Your backup probably most likely going to be a citizen before help got to you in the southern end of the county. So that's how you knew verbal judo, which is what step that police academy teaches. when it comes down to speaking to people. How can you de-escalate a situation before you go fist to fist, big guns start coming out, things like such. But we kind of depend on the townspeople when things break bad. Hey, you get that right.
You get that right.
And during that time, unfortunately, we put deputy sheriff. It took, just waiting for backup from the county. Sometimes took anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Yes, sir.
That's a long time.
Yes, sir.
10 minutes is a long time.
When you're
What? Yeah, 45 minutes an hour.
yes, sir.
That's crazy because, you know what? I take that back. I do know Branchville just had one cop. Because when you come from Orangeburg, they're gonna be sitting at that church. You better slow your butt down. They're gonna be sitting at that church. You better slow your butt down.
But that's a beautiful town. I challenge anybody in Orangeburg County. If they haven't visited Branchville, just go through Branchville. Just go out and just kind of hang out with it. Eat at Sherman. But
Oh
it
man,
was one of the most beautiful times, peaceful, but yet,
Okay.
we still had the need for law enforcement, to address certain things. But again, like I say, Randy Clark is, Chief Randy Clark is doing a wonderful job down there still. Yesterday. I saw him just the other day, and he just big old smile on his face. I think, man, he's still at it.
Lord,
Yes, sir.
shout out Branchville. I know some people from Branchville. Shout out to y'all. I'm gonna do the first person ever hook up. Branchville, peaceful and beautiful. Well, y'all don't come in, But shout out to y'all. Okay, so you can do Branchville now. Orangeburg to North Charleston is one thing, but I'm going to Branchville to North Charleston. And no, I tell people forget when people see Charleston, they think about downtown. North Charleston get real itchy, real sketchy, fast.
I'll tell you about North Charleston. I chose North Charleston because it was an agency, another national credit agency. That's the difference between, the various agencies here in our county. The Orangeburg Department of Public Safety is actually a national accredited agency. So what that means is you get, they actually establish policies and procedures that reflects the national standard. And in that, you deal with things, personnel operations, things like promotions, you're pulling up the general public, protocols, juvenile policies and procedures, a little bit of everything. So that's where that national standard comes from. So really, more agencies should be kind of going towards that standard versus not. And at least we do have a state standard as well, so you can get state accredited if you choose to be. But how that national standard, that national accredited standard, is actually the way to go. It's a top tier notch in law enforcement operations.
I'm asking a question just as further up. Just might be good on just a regular question.
Yeah.
So you have a police agency that's not accredited?
Yes, unfortunately. Wow, that is scary. In 2024. I mean, I know we're not in 2024 yet, but
that is scary.
We're in the last month, and I'm glad you asked that question because that now pivots me to the next point.
Okay.
The next point is that's one reason why I'm running for sheriff as well. The sheriff's office has never been even state accredited, so therefore they're not even nationally in all of these years. No.
A school teacher has had the proper accreditation.
Yes.
You can tell me police, not police officer, but
the agency itself.
The agency itself does not have to at least be state credited.
So, and I give you a good comparison right here in this county. Right here in this county. Sometimes I believe in the test of systems to show you compare contracts. If you look to the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety, and then operations on the sheriff's office in Orangeburg County, they are day and night in operations. So working for the nationally accredited agencies have pretty much shaped me in my leadership and honed my leadership style and things like such. So again, North Charleston has been that agency outside the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety that has actually molded and shaped me even more because in order to grow as a leader, you have to go out and get exposure. That's why we go to college. That's why we actually sit under different administrations to kind of learn what really works. Like North Charleston, it's funny that you said police between North Charleston and Orangeburg is day and night. But during my interview panel, they said the police in Orangeburg, North Charleston, you won't have an issue in North Charleston.
All right, no, I go talking. All right now.
But all jokes aside, I signed in North Charleston my first year, and guess what? I was in the chase. The very first time I signed on the radio.
Good Lord, the first year.
I found out how to drive even better, and I even found out how to run even faster. But it wound up from the vehicle to foot. Yes, sir.
The first day. Oh, wow, okay, that's crazy.
It was a workout.
So I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm still in I guess I'm still in awe, and I'm still confused about how. So much good. So I guess we can. I don't want to fast forward that fast. So we all know you're running for Orangeburg County Sheriff. So if you were sheriff, I'm not your question. If you were sheriff, 'cause I'm not gonna. I think a lot of people watching this, what we just said is now about accreditation. That's gonna blow their mind.
Yes.
That's gonna blow their mind. So if you were to be sheriff tomorrow, no, that's not real. When you become sheriff in election time, what would you do to kind of drive us into that? That's about at least a state accreditation, because that's crazy to me.
You're in my head at this point. So that's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. And not only does it work, it runs like a well-oiled machine
Mm-hmm.
because there's a standard set for operating. It's just like a plane.
Mm-hmm.
We're human. Do we lose our way on the journey sometimes? Yes. But if you have a roadmap to go back to,
Mm-hmm.
you can easily find your point of contact.
Correct.
Pretty much get back focused to point.
Correct.
So for minimum standard of starting out, I would definitely apply and actually proceed with state accreditation
Mm-hmm.
for starters. Absolutely. Because without proper policies and procedures,
Mhm.
you have nothing. And that's not just law enforcement, that's in all things.
Mhm.
You know, law enforcement definitely needs those heavy policies and procedures because again, you know, you deal with personnel,
Mhm.
you deal with people,
Mhm.
you know, so things like promotions and everything else like such. And I must give it here.
Mhm.
Had certain policies and procedures and accreditations been in place,
Mhm.
certain promotions would not occur at said agencies. At said agency,
Mhm.
had that accreditation been in place because accreditation allows your policy procedures again to be figured out on the national standard or even state standard, which governs how one is promoted
Mhm.
through the ranks.
Oh, so
From officer to our first class to corporal to sergeant, lieutenant,
Mhm.
captain,
Mhm.
possibly commander,
Mhm.
you know, assistant chief, deputy chief, all of those positions all the way up to the rank. The only thing that it does not cover is actually the top position
Mhm.
because again, that is the head position.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's pretty much it provides you with God to operate.
And it's almost like a fair, like if you do this, and get this, not versus like, you know what, I don't like that. So I'm gonna keep passing you over.
Wow. So or I like you,
Mhm.
but you have no experience.
My state.
But I'm gonna still put you in place.
So has there ever been like a, not the answer, like an attempt to become accredited, and they just have not, for whatever reason, failed, or they like it the way it is? Well, we assume, but I don't know.
Well, understood. But I know I don't expect you to know, but I do know
Okay.
that there has not been an attempt ever to become at least state accredited agency. And the reason accreditation is important, I'm going to lean into the budgetary matters. You have other access to different aspects when it comes to the budgetary matters and things like such that allow even grant funding to come in. Currently, the sheriff's office is currently funding somewhere around the mark of $9.5 million a year. But it had to be an accredited agency. A lot of those grant funding can actually keep a lot of that along the way to allow you to place folks in positions like Orangeburg County is a large county.
It's a huge county.
1,192 square miles. I mean, from Sawyerdale, I met a couple just out of Masons. They have a little nice shop there in Masons, but they live in Sawyerdale community, which is the most western tip in Orangeburg County.
I know what I said.
Yes, sir. You get up, you run up highway number 4, you make it right up there by Hickory on the 320.
Okay.
Down from the Masons Town Hall, you make a left on stop on the 389, from 389 all the way out. There's a traffic circle. I used to be a crossover that happened South Corner number 3 and 389 meets. There's a traffic circle there. Come out the traffic circle, you bump right into Sawyerdale.
I do know you right now.
Yes,
I know you right now.
So wow. And matter of fact, you come out the traffic circle, look to the left, you see Sawyerdale Volunteer Fire Department right there.
Sure it is.
And probably maybe about a mile down the road, we're gonna go into the Asian County.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right. So those people. Wow. So let me get it right. You see, that's why I like somebody. See, when I speak, I ask the questions that the average person want to ask.
Yes.
And so I'm hearing this stuff like when I say I'm in shock, I'm real awe, I guess I say. So if we had the proper stated, who is state accredited, we can get grants to eat up some of those, to get some of that debt. So we might can hire more deputies to cover area. I'm thinking.
Absolutely. As of October this year, 2023, they had 19 vacancies. This is information I was provided via Freedom of Information Act request from the Orangeburg County Human Resources Department. That's troubling considering the fact that they're only slotted or allocated for 97 deputies. And what I'm more so, all shocked about is the fact that the agency has always been allocated for that number of deputies under this administration. So what it shows is, being a businessman that I am, it has shown that this agency has not grown, over the last 2 years. It has remained the same. It has got progressively worse each and every single year.
And so, again, but like I said, the average person, we don't. I said, well, we should care, but we don't know the stats. So, why do you think that by the current administration, there hasn't been a push to change? But I see they push to bus people in Orangeburg. Why do you think there hasn't been a push to just a push for more deputies or growth? Just growth. When you grow, I think you can make a big impact.
Yes. Again, it goes back to having a plan. I have yet to see a plan presented from this administration. In my time since the administration has been seated since the passing of the late Sheriff Larry Williams. And again, in the law enforcement body, we're all brothers and sisters. They're eager, men and women at the Orangeburg County Sheriff's Office. But I also want to, reassure them that, sometimes they say, well, if there's a campaign, there's a big chance that I may not be part of this administration if the administration changes. But I do want to set aside this time to let them know that I do understand that, they are eager individuals willing to learn the right way of doing it. Past and present deputies have the same concern, where some will speak up, but others don't speak up because of fear of ramification. So when it comes down to just the aspect of wanting to get more deputies, you have to first present a plan before the Orangeburg County Council. If they buy into it, you shall be successful. But here's the problem. If you already have 19 slots that are empty, what are you going to say as a business person or a county council member? I need you to fill those spots first, and then you come back and present your plan for additional deputies. But again, going back to 1,192 square miles, you have I-95, 926 that must be correct. You have major thoroughfares. You have US 371, Highway 176, 78 that runs from Branchford, Dorchester, County Park, that over 95 on the backside. There is so much federal money that can be forwarded to this county by way of grant funding alone. I mean, it's like a lot. Just from highway safety, from the federal side as well as the state side.
Because they put them highway. That's the money.
That's the money. And we have no presence, no representation on either one of those states. And the reason I say that, and I pivot to this point, again, you got to give something compared to. Just last week alone, the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office ran a operation called Operation Rolling Thunder. I believe they pulled about 22 kilos of drugs on the interstate, I-85, and $500,000 in cash.
Let me tell you what I thought. You can dispute this because sometimes I call it hood facts. I'm gonna use the word hood facts because the there's facts. That other people call it other word. I'm gonna say hood facts. But I thought we said I haven't seen much. So I guess we just so underfunded. I thought it was against the law for Orangeburg County to be on this thing.
No, sir.
I thought they couldn't put people over in this state because I've never seen, and I say never, I've rarely ever seen an Orangeburg County deputy on the state. Anyone.
And you're absolutely correct. And what's scary in Orangeburg County? At best, even during my days of working in law enforcement in Orangeburg County, at best, they had 6 to 7 deputies maximum on a shift in the entire county. If you look, it was a 6 deputy shift. You had 4 working in Greater Orangeburg and 2 working east in Orangeburg County. That's Holly Hill, Utahville, Vance, Ellery, Providence, Community, Warrior, which is outside of Holly Hill. And anything in between, in that kind of back to the woods, down 210, back towards Bowman.
That's a lot.
Yes. And here's the catch. Now, mind you, I haven't worked on Orangeburg almost a year. They're still running the same concept in 2020. And like I said, I keep referencing 2024 because we're here. We're here at 24. Although we're closing out 23, we're in 24. Yes, sir.
And then you're in the same concept in the room. And then what would you say? What is it, over 10 years? 10, 12 years? 10 years?
Yes, sir. Easy. Yes.
That's right. There's no proof.
Yeah, no proof. It's scary. I mean, right now, the citizens are facing response times around 45 minutes. That's happening. But deputy sheriff in the county. And then after you've been waiting for 45 minutes, sometimes you bump into, and this is not all difference because I've dealt with, a little bit of each. You got some folks out there who's just sweet as all get out. And then you get some ones that, hey, and I really dislike that part for the citizens because I mean I had a situation where I got out with the deputy and I felt like you always show great restraint in all things that you do in life. So, but even I felt like, hey, I got bail money. We can dance tonight. If you want to dance, let's dance. That's just how bad the attitude was. So unprofessional, unbecoming. It was bad. But again, if I experienced that from a deputy sheriff myself, giving my current
person, did he know who you was?
No. I try to give him a nod, kind of, to kind of say, hey, do you have any idea? That still had no bearing on the situation, so I didn't really push the point.
Because you're right, it shouldn't be. Exactly. Even if you be just Joe Blow,
absolutely,
you should get the same treatment.
God humbled me in that moment. He checked me in that moment because I was like, hey, I'm such and such. I still explained to him who I was, but it was more so like, oh, good for you. So it's still snarky and comments. Yeah. But it's not here nor there. But again, and this is my experience. What is the rest of society, getting from these deputies?
Okay. Yeah. So it's like so if you come in in the election, which is when is the election?
June 11th is gonna be the time.
June 11th.
2024. Save the date. June 11th. Put in your calendars right now.
June 11th.
Yes, sir.
So June 11th. June 11th. We're gonna get everybody turn up. We're watching this live. Turn up. We'll vote. I'm pretty sure you just seen the beginning of the campaign. But my thing is so like what I'm getting from like the state accreditation that requires like that's I don't know. I'm gonna say management training. I don't know. Like you said, what's the word? Verbal jujitsu. I don't know. You said
that's most of us standing at the police academy teaching here. South Carolina as a level 4.
Level 4, but I think that's good because you can teach people like even time I work in manufacturing, and it was like it's a little bit more than manufacturing, and they will say, leave your problems at home. Because you bring your problems here, and cause somebody else to get hurt. Absolutely. Cause somebody else to, and you can't take your problems out of somebody else. So you go to the thing. So I do got this question, and I'm going to ask my this class. So it was on the Facebook Live. The issue you talk about, that issue that was on the side of the road. That's the issue, side of the road. And so I've never seen somebody trying to help, but this situation had nothing to do with you. You helped him, and I'm treated like. They treat you like somebody see you on like one of them videos or somebody do some crazy, you try to record them. You trying to explain what happened. No, so when something like that happens, I don't know the proper chain of events. When that happens, do you go make a report against the officer? When that happens, it's just like, oh well, he just got away with just doing anything. And I think I think one thing about the South that we'll give credit for, we have a lot of I call them local police officers, which is great for us. Like we usually deal with people we know. Sometimes we know different we don't know. Yes. But like so the people who like do have issues, like me become sheriff, and there is a officer who's getting a little bit beside himself because Orangeburg County Sheriff Department, no this against y'all and all this from y'all. But in the past few years, the news have been through county, y'all. We had 2 or 3 very big. I want to say they might have been national scandals. I don't want to say national, I'll say statewide. But like so what would be the process? How would somebody go about saying like, okay, Officer X, I think it was a little too aggressive.
Understood. So let's go back to that national or state accreditation.
Okay.
Let's go back. Under that process, you would have policy procedures that address things, protocols to how a officer's complaint is addressed or even reported. So in most agencies, they have you report that to the Office of Professional Standards, or as TV would have it, internal affairs.
Okay.
There you go. So
that's not the real name for it, 'cause that's what I call it on TV too.
it's still the Office of Internal Affairs, but it's more so professional terminology.
Okay.
Office of Professional Standards. And so what happens is you will pretty much go to that agency, report to whoever's at the desk, whether it be a secretary or whomever, saying, hey, I have a complaint I should file against an officer. At that time, the protocol should automatically start. So even if that Office of Professional Standards is not available, that nearest supervisor can still take that complaint and then forward it to that office. That office then in turn will determine whether it's standing for that complaint to proceed in the further investigation, and or pull that officer off the line, pretty much off of the road until this investigation can be substantiated or dismissed, and the determination can be made recorded. But it's interesting to ask the question because even in my complaint that I made, the supervisor at the time called me back and he said, I was being belligerent and that he could lock me up. So, yes, that was the follow up. And I didn't say a word. I was like, you know what?
You don't think they got a little?
Well, when you know better, you do better.
Okay.
So I didn't let it bother me, but I was still shocked that was your response to me, not the fact that I wanted to go check out my deputy. And then come to find out, this deputy has been doing that to a lot more people, other law enforcement officers.
Wow.
Because I had some other officers reach out to me, beyond that and say, hey, who was the officer? And I told them, oh dang, I got that guy, across the county, and they get a lot of complaints from that particular office. And I was like, that's interesting that even the law enforcement body knows who this person is and, pretty much your customer. But again, everybody has to work because the Bible says the man who will work on, but again, you have to be impressed. I'm not here to go out nobody's job. Everybody has to work.
Correct. I agree with that.
Everybody has to work, but you have to work wrong.
Correct.
Am I saying that you have to be 100% every day? No, it's not 100% every day. But something needs to be addressed with that.
Okay.
Yes.
So now I'm gonna back up a little bit. So, for those who don't know, this is your second time running for Orangeburg County Sheriff. Let's go with the first time, because right now I know you already have your standards of why you want to do it. What made you run the first time? Like what prompted your mind to because also you are a very successful entrepreneur. You're a very successful entrepreneur. Have businesses. So many. I'm gonna let you name a few. When you choose a name, very successful entrepreneur. What made you say? Can you you just sit back, work, live a good life? What made you say? I want to work on the like. What was that aha moment?
You try to turn this podcast into a testimony every time. Sound right. So for starters, not to correct you, but I got to correct. This is actually my fourth.
What did not see? Did not know that. You got learning too.
By and by, I'm learning the meaning of me running for office. When it first came to me back in 2009. The good Lord woke me up out of my sleep and said, "You run shit up." You what? Well, of course. I ignored it. Laid back out. And I'm tripping. I woke up and I laid back down. But it woke me up. It shook me a second. Boom. And it's like I said, run shit. But then in 2000, right? 2000 was the first opportunity. I feel like the force was against me because that was the year that over 20 candidates got kicked off the ballot statewide due to the state economic interest.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That was when all paperwork had to be filed. I did file the paperwork, but it said that we had to file the paperwork at the same time. No one knew that law except the parties. And at that time, we only chose to tell certain individuals. But that rule was in place to trick and trip certain candidates all the way across the state. Now, it wasn't just me.
Okay, so
I'm talking about across the state.
it was huge.
Okay. It went to the state Supreme Court. That's how big it was. But here's the catch. Out of all of them, I was the only candidate on first. That was all of side. It broke my heart. But again, I'm agreeing on it. I just, so, okay, cool. So, then we moved over to 2016. And he said, you know, and you say your parents passed. So you know the story, Dave. So, so make a long story short, from 2009 to 2012 was the first time I So 2012, escaped up the valley because so we got 2016, and you know 2016 just wasn't one of those years that was just wacky nature that you couldn't really figure. So, anyways, let's move on to that. Then we get to 2020. What happened in 2020? You go in the what? Cold. So we're studying all these battles. Boom, boom, boom. It was supposed to happen. You know, it was about after 2016. I was just like, hey, and the good Lord said, hey, you know, hey, I don't understand. So I'm still, you know, on the job. That's why I said testimony. So then you do a whole pandemic that means 2020. I was like, wow. I said, this is different. I said, you know, how much a man can, you know, say, not understanding the full picture. So after 2020, brings us to 2020. In the duration, I asked the question to the other day. I said, how many years did it take David? And the Bible has 14 years. So from my journey from start to now, 14 years. It's been 14 years. Let me tell you now, that's a good one. That's a good one. Listen, and I laughed, I cried, because when he told me to stand this time, it was like, you know, it was really cute. I was like, no, go again. Like he said, successful investment. Yeah. Both my businesses are successful. I was like, Lord, do what? Stay it. But I can't say this from the outside looking in. When we're going to look up to some politics, from the outside looking in, I got a lot of inquiries when I posted the picture today. Oh man, that's this. But I can say this. You might think different, but if me talking to the people, looking, even my own eyes. This is because when you ran last time, the press was there, but this time your presence is being felt. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, we can be honest, sometimes those of us we don't. Well, I do, but a lot of people don't take their local elections as seriously as they should. But I can say this, man, you are being seen. Your name is being pushed like, well, I'm asking you the question. Do you think this is the biggest election push that you've done? Like, it's like no horse, because like your face is everywhere, which is a great thing. But like people like Bubba Johnson, Bubba Johnson, Bubba Johnson, Bubba Johnson. You know what it remind me of? I think he passed away too. When Orangeburg County, we think Bubba, we think Papa Johnson. But we say anything about Papa. Y'all know Brookdale, I got a boy to pick Papa. Brookdale B. Y'all was some cheating summer guns. Papa Johnson to be at Clark Middle School, spying on us. So he could beat us and we still lost. But that's neither here nor there. I think Papa Johnson passed away then. Yes, rest be. But yeah, he was just spying on us as But what's interesting about the late Sheriff James Papa Johnson, he was big on community orientation. He brought forth the youth sports program, which is now known by large agencies as the CAP program, Cops Athletics Program. That is something I'm looking at going on for him, but we haven't arrived there just yet. But that's something Pop Johnson inside my coach was at Clark was Coach Willie Rivers. And those guys, and you know what thing about this too? Because even the guys at Brookdale, because he was the head coach at Brookdale, he made us looking for police officers different because this is our head coach. To this day. I think he might be charged, but I'm not sure. Coach Rivers is not, but like that, people don't realize how big a difference that makes. They have those guys doing those kind of things, and they were especially when we are kids. Yes, that really brings us to say, okay, so man, you got me going. Who with this policy? So everybody want to know. This is everybody in my inbox want to know. Everybody in my inbox want to know because I think all y'all blown away by the state accreditation. As accreditation, I think there's people writing that down, going crazy about that now. So I'm gonna let you go. This one I'm gonna let you have the floor.
I'm gonna let you tell us what could we expect come June 11th when we go to the poll and vote for Bubba Johnson? Like, what can we expect different as citizens of Orangeburg County?
I appreciate that question.
Mhm.
I like to start by going into my campaign platform first of all.
Okay.
Campaign platform statement is moving on for county forward.
Okay.
And as a citizen of Orangeburg County myself, nothing against the past decisions that we made, but we're at a place in a pivotal time, which, how can I put this? That it's just simply time for us to right our wrongs.
Mhm.
It goes back to even when you even spoke about, the sheriff's office making some national headlines for some scandals.
Mhm.
From deputies being arrested on the federal side.
Mhm.
Those are things we just can't put to bed. That's a leadership
Mhm.
situation. Also, going back to that accreditation standards, had those procedures, policies and procedures been in place, they simply would have caught that the fact that these folks that were actually caught up in these scandals and things, it wouldn't have occurred because we would have had checks and balances in place to catch those things.
Correct.
But tell me, why you need my deputies again?
Mhm.
For what?
Mhm.
Where? Who?
Mhm.
What? When? Where?
Mhm.
So it's no way possible you could even check all those boxes and you had a policy in place to follow.
Mhm.
Because Orangeburg Public Safety ain't just assigning the officers to anybody. And I use them because, again, they're in this county.
Mhm.
But because those policies and procedures are in place, we got the who, what, when, how. Like, oh no, we're not going over there. No,
Mhm.
doesn't check out. You see what I'm saying? So you got somebody else who's looking at it like, but
But
because in absence of it,
Mhm.
anything goes. It's useful. And that state agency, you don't see them poking around in other agencies.
Mhm.
But it came particularly to this particular case. But anyways, we start with recidivism.
Mhm.
But those who don't know what recidivism is, it's pretty much for, it's when someone gets locked up for a crime or arrested. We're not saying locked up, but arrested for a crime. They go serve their time, whether it be on the local level, to the local county jail, or to the state penitentiary system, or to the federal penitentiary system. And they get out after serving their time, and they come back, they come back to society, but yet they can't find something equitable to get involved in. And what happens is they re-offend. That's a textbook definition of recidivism.
Yep.
That's my first campaign. Okay. Because in recidivism, if we can assist those folks in finding gainful employment or even some training opportunities,
Mhm.
guess what? The recidivism rate goes what? Down.
And one of the opportunities like what?
CEO training. And the Valley Coach is just about yes. And it's very interesting that you did it there because, believe it or not, as an examiner, state examiner myself, I see folks come from my program that's have served. One fellow was, he served time for murder. One guy served federal time for, I think he was not think, selling animals, exotic animals. Then I had another guy who was just on some major federal drug laws. And these are folks who come to my program that was able to share a bright beacon of hope for them. And if they come to our program, I'm building relationships, collaborations, local and across the state and even national relationships that these folks when they come to our program, they have opportunities to be placed on jobs making minimum $80,000. Just like that. And guess what? All in 19, 20 days.
Wow.
Out the door. Out the door. So that's why I like to focus on recidivism because again, I want to interrupt that cycle. Because it's only representing 5%. Because 95% of society really does all the time. It's just that 5%. How can we assist? How can we take that 5% at least in half? That's the goal. Let's just cut it in half at that's a big 2.5. And the reason that matters is because you have young people coming up, people like to talk about single parent home. But if daddy's always locked up, let's give daddy something different. So daddy can come home. Or even if daddy's not coming home, let's say even parents not together. Let's just say, at least allow daddy to be present.
Yeah.
In children's lives. That's very important because now you affect, generations to come. Especially when it comes to those type of salaries and things. That's not a day-in job. That's really something that can really affect not one, not two, not three, but 4 generations down the
Yes.
line from one person having a sizable salary.
Yes.
Because that culture is able to actually see something, in real time. I get excited, so I kind of started tongue twisted. But I always get excited when I talk about that point. I mean, the Bible even talks about,
You change your life, man.
oh yeah, the Bible even talks about being a repair of the breach.
Mhm.
It is our job to assist them in being a repair of the breach for their own family.
Oh.
And that's for any man or any woman, especially the men folks. I want to talk to the men folks because I realize that when it comes to recidivism, it really reflects men.
Correct.
More so men of color, but at the same time, all. Because again, we serve both, not just South. I always tell people, black, white, Republican, Democrat.
Sure. Let me tell you something. I was starting to see a lot of our browner brothers and stuff got on trips going too.
Yes.
I'm talking about the chill. Yes. I'll see a lot more than driving.
Hispanics as well.
Hispanics. Yes. That's a good, honest, honest living.
Yes, sir. Beautiful part. There's a couple things also I want to talk about in my platform as well. When it comes to the second platform point is the social determinants of health.
Okay.
It talks about neighborhood buildings.
Okay.
Because when you talk about neighborhood design and building, you're talking about things like crime prevention, crime prevention, environmental design. How is this community built? How is it shaped?
Okay.
You first have to have a vision to help design it. So therefore, you can actually reduce crime by taking that approach from like on things like neighborhood resources. Crime prevention specialists throughout. Because the thing is, we don't want to be a reactive piece. We want to be a proactive piece.
Right.
Like, hey, we love sheriffs. But we want to call them, before something bad goes. And we want to establish those community-based relationships, which it used to be a time that Orangeburg County had a bunch of criminals in place. But guess what? Just yesterday, I believe, I had the opportunity to speak with the mayor of Nice, Mayor Lee. And and I use them to highlight because Nice is probably one of the most large communities in the I mean, you go to the Nice, they're PG. I mean, but it was very active. But they have since disbanded because there was no relationship that was maintained or sustained between them and the sheriff.
Just funny you should say that. I'm not gonna say his name. Friend of mine. I would say a friend of mine has a business in Nice. And his business is a lawn care farm. What's his lawn care going on? And he said, the people in those days take 35 minutes. So he started getting on his bed and going in his business. And once they saw that he would not stop, the alarm started going off. He just said it was like maybe 8, 9 times. Yeah, they got business that still has one.
So the folks out west are very concerned. Folks out east are very concerned. Folks in Greater Orangeburg are concerned. So make a long story short, everybody in the county is concerned. Anyone outside, especially people like them, they will tell you they're like the redheaded stuff here in the county. I mean, they're very vocal. They're loud about it. There's no shit about it. Ain't no dance. One thing about my entire campaign platform, I'm going to release a full report of my campaign plan, not just my campaign platform, but my plan to become a sheriff and what it will look like under my administration.
Okay.
But I'll release that to the public sometime in January.
Okay.
So, I mean, it'll be a paper report that you can actually look at and review. So if you have any questions or anything else like such, to review. But make a long story short, that western part of the county has no.
So the one thing they got a Springfield police department. If they have
So Springfield has a police department.
Okay.
However, one thing about police departments, the towns cannot substantiate full-time law enforcement. So there's dead space. So where there's dead space, now who now do the town rely on when it's after hours? So you have to actually have a plan. You have to fix the logistics problem in the county. Because everything can't run out of Greater Orangeburg. I mean, you expect to run down east, and if those two deputies down east need some backup, which happens a lot. Or out west, everything from Orangeburg got spread out west because they got a situation out west. I mean, it's just so many holes in this county. I mean, it's scary. I'm trying to find nicer words for it, but it's really dire situation. And I mean, of course, when law enforcement shows up, it shows up like they show up like they were there the entire time, but they really wasn't. If you look at the response time, even when we've had some dire situations that occur in this county, these folks coming from the county from different areas and wreak havoc, shooting them mothers' homes and everything else like that. shoot into the elders' houses. They shoot into the elders' houses that don't even have children. So I'm just like, what do these elders have done to you? You know? Matter of fact, it happened in Greater Orangeburg, right over Parkway.
I remember. That's the East Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's one situation. That is just one situation.
It wasn't. You're right. You're right.
But the thing is, what has allowed the folks to think they can come into this town and wreak havoc with our people? You know, what are we doing to be more proactive versus reactive in regards to this? We have a very reactive sheriff's office. Nothing that they do is proactive. No. Not to beat up on them, like I said, those men and women, I believe, are great men.
Right.
But sometimes when you lack guidance, you can only go forward.
Okay.
So it goes back to that training piece that we talked about. Okay. You know, that customer service. I mean, customer service training has to happen everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's private business, law enforcement, schools. It has to be everywhere because that's what you know. When you feel like you have a sincere desire to really assist in the community, you take pride in this customer service.
Correct.
You're happy. You're laughing, cutting food. You know, you're here like, but even with those attitudes, you're able to get out here and really perform and do a job and really allow the citizens who, in turn, I'm going to use the business word, customers. The citizens of Orangeburg County is your correct. So we have to put our best foot forward every time. Like I tell you, I went forth in Secret Service. They say, hey, we're not concerned about, you put your good foot first. We're not so concerned about your good foot. We're more concerned about that chaos, right? So I was like, what? And I mean, that you hit. Hey, it's Johnson. We're more concerned about, we know your good foot goes first, but we want to know what's up there.
The bad people with the back foot.
Absolutely. And then, last but not least on the campaign platform, we talked about the diversity, equity, meaning that, that's uneven. I'll have to call it uneven enforcement.
Okay.
Some ends of town get police better than other ends. Some ends of town go to jail before other ends. So therefore, in order to promote that, we need to be, it doesn't matter if the hilltop coffee or, as they would say, I would use this term because the guy that was referred to the West End, the West End of the county, hey, you should have that same enthusiasm. Burning that, yes, sir, burning that engine, coming around that bend like a hot Cheeto. I mean, full steam with them. Absolutely.
But I'm kind of sorry for the sheriff department. That's a lot of ground to go for 2 officers. That's a lot of ground to go.
Yeah, I think in the East End, you would think that administrators would have addressed that, but they haven't. It's very concerning. They haven't. And I'm pretty sure you're going to get some follow-up questions about that.
I'm pretty sure.
But the townspeople know it. You go to Hollywood, you know it. You go to Utah, you go to Illinois. Sometimes, you say, well, why do you keep on supporting things? Well, that's not true. Wait, what?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Now they got that side now.
Oh, that gives to the point. That gives to the point. They don't exactly have that side. There's a manipulation tool that's used.
Okay.
Yeah. And that manipulation tool is in the course of voting. There's 2 individuals who run the eastern part of the county known as the out of Queens. That, my friend, is actually that's the law.
Speak on that. So that's how the people don't know. Set up to my audience. Y'all know my audience is very smart, but some of them might lag. When it came to history, when they came to that part of the legislation, they might have skipped that. They might have skipped that part.
So democracy here in Orangeburg County has been challenged. Has been threatened, not challenged, but threatened. We use the right terminology. Anytime we see that when it comes to folks gathering of absentee ballots without being a part of the organization, is actually against the law. It violates state law and also violates federal law because even on the federal side, it goes back years ago before me and you were even born to the Voting Rights Act of 1960 or 1965. Those 2 young ladies, which will be identified here shortly because again, the investigation has been probed in regards to that in Orangeburg County. But it goes back to what the couple of brief moments and points that we spoke to before we got started.
Okay. Take your time.
Yes, sir. But with those particular individuals, everyone is citizens of Orangeburg County are trying to figure it out, saying, man, why is there nothing here? Why are we not moving forward? Because we have some elections that have to be implemented based on these particular individuals. So the Bible says warning comes before destruction. So I'm sending a clear warning today.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And that's Bible. That's not Bubba.
That is Bible.
It's the two B's.
That is Bible.
That's Bible, not Bubba. Okay. Warning comes before destruction.
You're right. You're right.
So, that's a shot over the bow.
Okay.
Take it for what it is. But they've been warned.
Okay.
And rightfully so.
So what is the correct way to? I know like a lot of older people do absentee ballot, but when they do absentee ballot, they always go to the text. Everybody knows go to the text office.
Well, most folks know that the tax office, but voter registration sits at the corner of the
It does.
street.
It does.
So they since moved that building from the county administration building over to voter registration. They have it on off in the old community bank.
Okay. Okay, so no, because but you know what I'm talking about. I always see everybody, just like the older people who don't want to spend their line, who gonna be out of town or something like that.
Absolutely. So that's $50. Where you have to actually go there in person to request. It'll allow you. The time you used to at least you kind of mail your request or email a request, but that's no longer the case. You have to actually come in person to actually request that absentee ballot. And you have to actually fill out the request form first. Because the absentee ballot itself will not be mailed out or sent to you prior to 30 days to the election. So that's the cool part about that. But also in that same 30-day cycle, you can actually vote absentee in person at that same location. I believe that address is not 1437. I think that's the address. I'm not quite certain.
But it's right in the whole community. You can't miss it because it's literally right at the corner.
Yes, sir.
It's a whole thing.
Yes, sir. We're Summers in the Beer Street.
I didn't know that. So I'm learning something new now.
Yes. So within 30 days, that's why we have no excuse not to drop our numbers high. In the electoral process, you got 30 days prior to the election to go down to Media Street.
Get it.
How many calls too? Because at the end of the day, I have a big old school bus that sits at my school and access of vans and church buses and everything to round the people up. But it goes back to voting and economics 101 when we talk about, because sometimes the community say, hey, we want this, and that community. I think our community should have this. I think our community should have that. But experience as a businessman teaches me one thing about, economics. If your numbers don't show, why would I invest in your community? There's only two things that counts the population in the community. One is the other one is elections, voting in elections. So in 2020, the numbers came up.
Y'all want them steakhouses? Please tell them again. Y'all want them steakhouses? I want them steakhouses too. Please tell them again, Bubba. What they look at?
Absolutely. So one thing, let me give it a pause for a second. One thing I want everyone to understand that this is a campaign of knowledge. Because the Bible says that we perish because of lack of what?
Knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. The Bible says we perish because of lack of knowledge. So therefore, if the census counts us and voting counts us, because I'm gonna tell you something, in 2020, we missed the mark on census. You had towns lose. The matter of fact, you probably heard about Hope. You almost lose their designation as a town because of the census said it was only this many people. Like Hope, true. But what happened during 2020 when the census folks came around, we don't doing, everybody wants to be doing like,
Yeah,
what you want? Who are you? Now nobody lives it but me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how we easily miss that mark. So those numbers were expected. So when those numbers are expected, where do we turn to? We have to turn to voting to count our population. So if only 14,000 people in my community, guess what? As a business owner, I'm not interested in coming in. I need minimum 40,000 people. 40,000 people. If I count 40,000 people here in an election, that might be a step. Hey, I'm gonna take that before my board of directors or my decision makers say, hey, we got a potential place that we can look at because people are here. This is a desert. We can hear you. The people are here. But if you're not showing up,
they don't know the people.
Absolutely. They don't know the people exist. So that's why you study this all these laws. I mean, I'm 40 years old, but folks can promise us things, for all 40 years, as long as I can remember. But guess what? We still look the same. Still as the economy. Who came and gone? Bojangles left years ago, but guess what?
With two more.
With two more, so they came in with vengeance. So that lets you know, it's almost like the chicken joint said, hey, we picked up on it. But because they cost the operating so low, they don't have a problem with storing it in there. But we want something more sustainable.
Like a long
public cash accounts.
Yeah.
Your state houses. Those places they come in to actually generate revenue, but they need the full picture. But even if we miss census, if they see that folks are voting strong, they say, oh man, this is the community that cares. Everybody start doing it. everybody does. I mean, everybody does this. You know, like I said, all these broken promises. Like I said, we've been broken as long as I can remember. And I'm 40 years old, going around. So, um, like I said, you know,
But I got a question. So these people do not sit down. Like I said, I seen a lot of older people I know grab older people, and a lot of people I know they're gonna be out of town. Some people just want to stand online. That's the only way they're getting it. So how could two people get all these ballots?
again, it's against the law.
But how they get them?
Well, there should be checks and balances in place. So it's not just them. So what they do is they go house to house, all through the community. So definitely when it comes to representation out of the eastern part of the county, so the elders will always say this thing, man, get down east, man, we go strong, get down east. So as I did research and homework, because in anything you shall study.
Mm-hmm.
So in my studying, I realized that a lot of these absentee ballots came from where eastern part of the county, where these T-shirt individuals reside.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's even photos, even evidence, evidence that shows them with these absentee ballots in their possessions in their personal residence. And it's very appalling because
They really are.
even during those years, this is definitely real. We got photos to substantiate everything I'm talking about as well. And those state authorities have those same photos. So with that being said, um, like I said, it goes from house to house. And with checks and balances, it goes all the way back to even our own county voter registry office. Because we think we should not be able to walk into the street and a stack of absentee ballots without somebody saying, hey, what's this about? This ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody should challenge it. But that's how Orangeburg County went.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here to interrupt that establishment because the people are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
The people are suffering. And we understand that we see it every day.
Yeah.
And then, for those who even now, they say, I live in the upper echelon neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to your stop sign, or your children get to your stop sign and make a right out around your neighborhood. What did they catch it? And what did they do?
That's the thing.
Yes, sir. There's a whole different world out here.
That's the thing. I guess the thing you did was like you said, though, some neighborhoods, even you go out the other parts of the country, like not say the country, but like in the county, you have a nice neighborhood. If you think of good neighborhood,
And your children being exposed, so even those places because you live in the upper echelon neighborhoods in Orangeburg County, you think that you're protecting your children or grandchildren or sometimes your great grandchildren. You have to really reality check what's really going on
right?
in this county. I mean, there's so many things that goes untapped. I met one of the community health workers as well. I mean, just by this call, I was in the library working on my campaign PowerPoint as well, and to find time before this podcast this evening, and just speaking with the young lady, she didn't know me. The first time I ever meet her, she was saying how her experience in Orangeburg doing community health work. It's very dire. And she beyond concern for Orangeburg County, and she lives out of Berkeley County, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow,
But
we just are thriving. Wow, I'm talking about it. When even Moncks Corner is getting an overflow of just that
Yeah.
that thriving right now. I never thought today with Moncks Corner have $700,000
Yes, sir.
on the regular.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
Jeez. Okay, so these people, so how do you, it's like the two individuals, over the heat warning and stop. How do you go out there? How do the elderly get that vote the right way?
Yes. So the elderly can simply get their vote the right way. They can still request the absentee ballot. Like I said, you have 30 days.
Mhm.
So this is why I challenge the young people.
Mhm.
Go get your grandmothers, go get your great grandmothers, grandfathers,
Mhm.
and take them to Orangeburg and simply let them vote early during the 30-day period, versus letting them be subject to spam because sometimes our elders, what we fail to realize is sometimes our elders really don't know. They may get a message, but what happens is I'm convinced that this same group of individuals, they request the absentee ballot. But then when those absentee ballots are mailed, I'm convinced they got somebody on the inside as well who tells them when those absentee ballots come out as well. So then those same houses went down that street. That mail is still gonna run down that street. So once you realize one person got it, everybody to your left and to your right got it as well. So now you can pretty much get back on the same track. Hey, things down, absentee ballots came. Yeah, pass them on.
That's crazy.
But as business as usual in Orangeburg County, nobody has ever talked about it or they stayed away from it.
That's great.
That's not okay.
So, well, God had since we've been going so much scriptures and that take us to church. I get you. God has like given the spirit of fear. But do you think even when you having these conversations that I would say it'll be frowned upon? I'll just say that. I use that word frowned upon. Or it's like you just whatever the fact, God got you.
My daily prayer, and I'm surrounded by a circle of believers.
Mhm.
I have a lot of ministers in my family.
Mhm.
I'm not,
Any of the shout out my friend.
yeah. But my daily prayer, and for my circle of believers, my friends, even those, I'm convinced there's someone out there praying for me that I don't even know
Amen.
because they know things aren't right and they want things to be right.
Correct.
They understand things won't be perfect, but it's still a very noble way of operating in the same.
Mhm.
Again, we don't get to this number one place in crime out of 46 counties.
Mhm.
My God, can we speak 30?
And
Can we 25?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I saw your campaign.
Listen, don't take my word for it. Do your homework. I always tell everybody everything I'm saying. Do not take Bubba's word for it because sometimes people like to challenge. Sometimes I say before you challenge, do your homework. Because in your challenge, I do have an answer, and I'm prepared with the answer for you. But I will make sure you go do your homework.
Because you are very prepared. That's one thing about you. You are very prepared. You put your your stats, your you know what? This is the credit to you. Somebody told me something. They don't want credit. Shout out to them. They say they remember you last year. Seen you at some event, and they was talking to you, greet you, and you was able to tell them on the spot. And they said they could remember this. They say you was talking, but they said remember this. You were able to tell them how much the Orangeburg County Sheriff did in overtime that year. And they caught it very say. So that boy they can tell.
Yeah. And speaking of budgetary matters, I'm still trying to figure out what they did with $3.3 million in debt. And no one is addressing that. And now, mind you, Orangeburg County just got another tax increases for employee raise. But if you balance books, you don't have to raise taxes. Yeah. So you, the citizens of Orangeburg County, are receiving a tax increase.
Yeah. Think about that now.
Absolutely.
And what happens, and it puts such a hard prison, you be like, we all know people who are city workers. So the time and so nobody okay, well, we kind of get it.
Listen, but the thing is, it's nothing wrong with giving raise.
But do it.
But balance your books. Your books have to be balanced.
That makes sense.
Because the people are already paying into the system. Now, Orangeburg County has one of the highest tax millions in the entire state of South Carolina.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Shout out to all my homeowners and cut that fish, which is crazy. Because I got some people, I told somebody it's different when I don't mind paying taxes when I can see my tax dollars. I can see oh, we got all these restaurants. People that live in Lexington, some of them live lower and they might be upset, but they don't mind paying taxes. Like, look at the amenities I got for paying my taxes.
Absolutely. And I mean, I guess it goes back to folks just doing the best they can do with what they got. At least that's their statement that they say. But go back to the sheriff's office, you have $9.5 million. So if you're still missing 19 deputies, how do you have a $3.3 million deficit? You're supposed to be reporting a surplus because you're missing almost 20 people. And the average salary, according to the Department of HR for Orangeburg County, the average deputy makes anywhere from $53,000 to $54,000. So with that being said, let's do the rough math. And we're gonna do it in real time. So the average is $54,000 a year, right? Times 19 positions. You should be reporting $1,026,000 in surplus. But instead you got a $3.3 million deficit. As people say, make it make sense, George. And that blows my mind that nobody looks. No one looks. And and I was always good at numbers, but my business taught me how to be good at it, and that's become a success. You learn percentages. And 1 + 1 is greater than.
So I have a question. So the count, because can you help me out? So I know public safety, that's the cities. So who audits the county book? Like, would that be the state audit the county book?
Well, they normally, from my understanding, they normally get a private third party firm. This is my issue with third party firms. Is in the firm.
Mm-hmm. Who is this third party firm? Like from accredited list and a person?
There you go.
Bachelor accreditation again.
And like I said, is this accredited agency owned by your friend?
Mm-hmm.
Who are there to produce you some favorable results of the mapping now? You spend millions of dollars a year. The best thing you can come up with, in Orangeburg County, you say you're going to pull a $40 million.
No, that don't make sense.
That don't make sense. But we can't allocate and dedicate $1 million to youth-based programs in Orangeburg County.
You know what? And then you be sure. I will say this, speaking for community, because I do youth sports. Shout out to Beyond Sports. This goes out to Coach Cartwright, who's the president, owner, and creator of Beyond Sports, football league and baseball. I think he's doing basketball too. He got his own thing. And very successful, very, very young man, very driven, and he's growing the travel football league in this area. That's on the part of it. I'm part of staff too. But this is my thing with that. I find it mighty fun. You been seeing your best football field? When we go play other people, that football field is not legible. It's not even legible. I'm using the word legible. That's not even a word that's used for a football field. Legible for our youth program. But have you seen that baseball complex?
But that's a combination from the city of Orangeburg. I believe county funds went into that as well.
Okay.
But again, it goes back to the late Sheriff James Papa Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He actually built his community audit policing program.
Oh yeah.
By the way of his youth sports, track and field actually.
Woody brought him on. I interviewed Woody.
Absolutely. Speaking of Woody, Woodrow Morgan, that's what speaking of.
No, I'm talking Woodrow Denton.
Oh, Woodrow Denton. Okay. I'm thinking about Woodrow Morgan. He was, if I'm not mistaken, he was Papa Johnson's second in command at the time of the sheriff's office. Now he currently works at the sheriff's office still. Okay. Every time I see him, I light up like a Christmas tree because those are folks from Boston.
Yeah.
Yes. So when I see him out there, he's still at, going to work, and I believe his daughter told me he's 70 something years old. Still looking good too. Yes, sir. Looking good. But we have to invest in youth by way of, again, that COPS athletics program. And that's why I attribute North Charleston to a lot, and I still even talk about nothing federal, but that has its own special place. But from the North Charleston Police Department, I was able to get so much. I think I had information overload. So right when you thought you knew, so this is another division. Wait, what? You get on the call, somebody back you up, like, hey, mention before 6 like questions. Hey, what division belong to? Well, I'm on Motor. Or I belong to the Marine Patrol. Marine Patrol. And they told me to pick up truck. Yeah, I told the boat. Okay. Yeah. Wait, who are you? I belong to IFP, which is in turn, the full-time SWAT team, and then, the folks who are the task force for the feds and the agency as well. But being able to experience all of that, saying, hey, there's a new component that's and that's how you flush folks out. But I'm just so appalled. Like I said, even the traffic guys, I met some remote units by default. I was on the traffic stop one day down on Riverside, making people maybe not talk. And my backup was a mobile unit. I didn't even hear him come up because of what he did. He shut up their motorcycles before they got to me, so they posted up behind me, and I couldn't hear him coming. So when I heard the unit say, hey, they were out with me, I looked in my mirror. I had 2 motorcycles sitting behind them. That's pretty cool. So they're just sitting like that chilling. I had no idea that they were backing me up.
Yeah, they're back up.
Yeah. So those are different divisions that's needed, and that's something that possibility that I'm looking to. When I become sheriff.
I think that would make a big difference. Even you look at most well, we staying on topic, but just staying on the I'm sure that the cop league, most boxers come from those cop leagues. I'm talking about most boxers. That's why there's so many boxers like the Philly, New York, those Maryland, those DC. Those are the cop league sponsored boxing. They start them off young, and they coach them up.
It's top athletics program. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
But see, even with the Papa Johnson thing, wasn't it just more Papa Johnson into it, or was that funded by the?
That was him. That was also the sheriff because he actually brought it over because he started early on. He started when he was with city folks. and it was a continuation.
So he took. So why? I wonder why did this band? Because when I came up, it was already gone.
You have to have a vision.
Um,
I have a vision.
Yeah.
And with vision, it allows other folks to see and actually want to be part of that.
A lot of stuff came out of that. A lot of stuff came out of that.
Indeed. So my ask to the Orangeburg County Council on being successful on election day is simply, hey, if we can spend $40 million for a courthouse, I ask for $1 million for 40 years per year to inject into you per year.
It'd be simple.
It'd be a gift on Orangeburg County. Because the goal is to obtain and, at least occupy those children's minds for at least 4 to 5 weeks out of the summer months. Because we got some folks who are not capable financially, they can't afford it. I have folks that come to my program that can afford, paying afford $20 to go to the DMV to try for their permits. And we come out of our own pockets to see this person home. Because if a parent can't afford $20 at the DMV, they can't afford that $20 registration to get their child in that program.
They can.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why that budget matters.
And if you're a county, it's more. I mean, if you
Out
of city, if you're out of city, it's more.
Absolutely. And what shocks me as well is the fact that we don't have an Orangeburg County Department of Parks and Recreation, which would in turn all those parks. So weird.
Right by public safety.
Well, that's the city of Orangeburg.
Oh,
I'm saying Orangeburg County. That's the city.
you're right.
Parks and Rec.
You're right.
So now you still have some folks, the county still pays money towards places like Marvinsportsandlife, sports lanes, the Orangeburg, the Boys and Girls Club, but that's not Parks and Recreation.
If you say got his own, that's why. Because that's why we have the travel team as well.
There you go.
We here in Orangeburg, but we beyond sports. No, probably got the own.
What's the name of the movie? When it was in Philadelphia when they had the swim team.
Not Glory. I didn't talk about Terrence Howard. I can't remember.
Absolutely. But it reminded me of that, the Philadelphia Department of Parks and Recreation, Orangeburg County should be built the same way. We should have a community pool, not with the YMCA. We need our own resources and assets. You pretty much invest in our youth because that's what's going on now.
Teach them how to swim.
There you go. Teach them how to swim, just pretty much occupy their minds during those summer months. Because what happens when you go home for the summer? What school is out? Where do children go? Back to our neighborhoods.
Yeah, because if you live in the city, because like the city is starting, I think they're starting to, because again, thank God for a lot of we have more summer programs around here. But guess what though? I know what I paid for my son.
Okay.
To go to some program. And some people, some parents, they don't got that to pay for their child every week to go to programs.
But what happens when those programs now occupy all of our city residents? Where does the kids in the county?
They know where to go. They know where to go.
So the Bible says
in a distance.
So what does the Bible say about our mind? It's
a playground. Man, you taking me to Bible study. You got me.
But that's real.
That's very real.
And it goes back to the journey, and I'm sure you might have got this question as well, but say what makes you different?
Correct.
At the end of the day, the good Lord said go forward. I was minding my business. I was like, Lord, I told him that on my last campaign. I was like, Lord, even if I'm not successful, bless me my future. That was my prayer again. I said, this bless my future.
He's doing that. He's doing that now.
He did it, but he said, when he said stand again, I told my mom. I think my sister rang him out, right? My sister. So I'm gonna get you if you want me. So mama said, I heard. Mom, I heard. I'm like, oh, you heard. Mom said, I heard. We're the sheriff again, son. I said, well, yes, man. I said, what she thought. I said, I'm gonna give you what I told you about. I think I told you. I said, it's my job to bring it to you. So mom said, well, I don't know. But I said, well, mom, I said, not to be disrespectful. I said, the good Lord gave it to me. I ain't prayed about it. I said, I pushed back on it. I wasn't disrespectful. I said, I talked about it. We worked it out. And I said, going for it. So I said, when mom said something, mom,
listen.
Yeah. So he's like, oh man, mom ain't with. So I said, I'm going to court. That's my girl. I went to court. Sat on her office. And, grandma's giving wisdom. And I said, well, grandma, what you think? Grandma said, go for it. Yes, sir.
Because one thing I can say, you have people, like I said, a lot of this campaign, like I said, the people who, Thanks guys for all the Marvinsportsandlife supporters. Cause y'all, one thing when y'all see something, y'all gonna like that inbox up, and they all said, "Man, this Bubba guy, he's everywhere." Like I want to see what he got to say, cause he is everywhere. You seen your face on the truck, and I did like the truck. I think that's pretty good. And the whole Grinch, flying the Grinch up, that's pretty good. Yeah, I know Bubba's for the parade. Instead of just walking through, he had a Grinch. Y'all probably seen the TV. He had a red suit on, walking the Grinch to jail with a tractor trailer, with another, I think, two tractor trailers. I don't want to say how many. There's another tractor trailer. I said, now that is how you do an election campaign. And just like that's how God works, man.
But and I want to say that we're not just limited to our campaign. That's the energy we want to bring to Orangeburg County Sheriff.
So it's not one.
It's a continuation. Okay, yes, sir. We're coming. We're coming full steam.
Okay, man. Yes, I think we're ready for it because some of these ideas you said today, this one is going to make a lot of people excited, especially a lot of people from the county who might feel like they've been left out a lot of things. Outside of because I think people forget that Orangeburg, I'm not hard about it. It's just not knowing the lack of knowledge. That Orangeburg City, Orangeburg County, two different things. I think they say the word Orangeburg and just assume they're all one thing. Sometimes the people in the county do get forgotten about.
Absolutely. And it brings us to my next point. But before I go there, I want to let it be clear that city residents can vote in the sheriff's election as well. That's a very common question as well. So whether you fall in different municipalities, Bowman, Branchville, Holly Hill, Utahville, Nices, all those Springfield, anywhere in between, Norway, I like to call them all city, Livingston, Wood, that's Woodford's out there on, 321 towards next to the county line. But sometimes they get forgotten about. But we have a lot of underserved communities, and it's time to stop underserving the underserved. That should be a shot at your intelligence. You're already underserved, and you're receiving underservice to the underserved.
Wow.
That pisses me off. I was trying to be very restrained.
Wow.
Very restrained.
Yeah.
But that really pisses me off because it really attacks that one's intelligence. You should never want somebody to make you feel like you're less.
Sure.
Mama taught me two things. If I ain't listening to nothing else, mama never listen. Sometimes we as kids we get hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So mama always taught us. She said, you behold to no man. So I was like, what does that mean? So I was like, Jesus speaking in parables. I was like, you behold to man, what does that mean? By into you're finding yourself. Nobody can get in your pocket.
So that means I'm under control.
There you go. So, but she spoke in parables, so she never even gave me. I had to come to my own conclusion. And she said, son, there's no big meaning with me. So I will always have a hope. Those are two lessons I learned.
Those are two very big lessons.
Absolutely. If you notice in the parade, she was actually on the golf cart on the passenger side.
Wow. But yeah, I was too busy looking at you like in the picture. And once I was off the truck.
But it brings great relief to me because as a mother, right? So she's concerned, as a mother. So I had to understand, and that's why I got a different dynamics. She was concerned, but see her on that golf cart rolling. Speaking to the folks, I was like, that brought cheer and joy to my heart, knowing right behind me was my mother. The same lady who said, son, I don't know. But she's on the journey, and I told her, I said, Mama, I just want you to support on the journey. I said, I'm not being defiant, I'm not being disobedient. I said, good Lord, and I told her, I said, good Lord, he woke me up again. He said, go for it.
You don't question that. She'll question, But when you said a good Lord, she might look at you a little funny, all right?
But it was very distinctive with my grandma. And this is my father's on my father's. Very distinctive that, she gave me the story of her growing up and, her and my grandfather being married and things like that. And she just remembered years ago when she was, just a little girl, little ponytails in her hair. She said how, at that time, she said how the claim used to ride through town on the back of the white sheets. And I think that's where her energy came from. I said, God, this is my grandson said before. Go for it. Because I remember when those folks used to ride around on the back of that those army jeeps. And she even called, she said, the doctors, the lawyers, the judges, all under white sheets. And I said, oh, Jesus, that was before my time. But it ran chills to my bone. And that's when I realized she was definitely super proud because she said, I remember I was a little girl watch. So, but now here's my grandson, my little, he's going for it. and you go, and she stopped right.
That's the moment, that moment.
Yeah.
That's a moment.
Yes, sir.
You talking about full circle, especially in her eyes. It's full circle.
Listen, it's a good bit to take, a lot of impact.
Man. All right. So we get that. This my thing. This what I want. And I know that the campaign is not going to stop. My thing is, I think some people watch our words. I think sometimes you pushing the industry pushing now is really going to bring a change. Because now you're making people look. At first, my man, running down that Bubba run. I run. Because when you get the people up behind you, there's young people, and you step on that fire. That's a change coming. I think for the best in Canada. But one thing like you said, you gotta get back to, we got to go. You got to go.
Yeah, I'm listening to that message. I have nothing against the current administration
Mhm.
because it could be done better. I
Mhm.
mean, by God, we're spending $9.5 million a year. And the reason that insults my intelligence is because the return of the investment that they bring in on that $9.5 million is $5,500 a year. This is actually a printed financial report provided by Orangeburg County Fiscal Accounting Team via Freedom of Information Act request.
Mhm.
That's why I'm appalled by it. You spend $9.5 million and the return on investment, you're reporting $5,500, $5,500. And it shocks me because I started my businesses with zero.
Mhm.
So I end up putting my business about what we bring in. But
God bless you.
yeah,
God.
give me $9.5 million and I'm gonna show you something here
Mhm.
on breakout. Okay, I'm gonna show you something, and it's for the positive, for the greater good. And even if you can't do it for yourself,
Mhm.
do it for your grandchildren and do it for your great grandchildren, because that's what it's about.
Man.
Because sometimes people get stuck in their own feelings.
Mhm.
They may not like you for whatever reason. My friend said you're not a great guy. I don't believe you.
Mhm.
Your friend got that from somebody else who got it. Somebody who got it from somebody. Got in a circle and passed it around. Next thing you know, was an upside down bad guy.
What I did. Can't do. Thank you. Yeah, I told somebody, don't judge me of what you think. But don't judge what you know. Judge me off your reactions.
You know how I got everything that I got?
Oh.
In my $12 training school,
Mhm.
there was not a roadmap. There was no breadcrumbs to follow
Mhm.
going down.
Mhm.
I didn't have no one I could reach out to.
Mhm.
No one did.
Mhm.
So I go to the journey. I started with state, South Carolina Highway Department's compliance, CDL compliance.
Mhm.
Submitted my application. In the block. I didn't have a break. Everything around us is technical colleges and university.
Mhm. You know they know about the shit.
No, none. Now, as I proceeded forward and became certified with the business, you know, the good Lord shit, helped along the way. So it's like, oh, this is probably over.
Mhm.
Oh man, he's making chops in the road. Wait a minute, his numbers are doubling and tripling our numbers.
Mhm.
And shout out to my amazing team. I don't never ever want to take credit because I do have an amazing team in place.
Okay.
I take care of them, they take care of me,
Mhm.
vice versa, flip around, turn
Yeah.
around, back, flip, you know what I mean?
Same thing.
I always want to give credit to my team because at the end of the day, I believe that we're family, although I'm still a boss. They tell you I got one rule, zero tolerance for compliance. Otherwise, make it,
Mhm.
have fun,
Mhm.
be great. But remember, we got zero tolerance for compliance because that's what keeps the lights on.
Okay, so everybody get back to what you want. Everybody got a big appliance. These are this is the thing.
Going back, and the reason compliance is necessary is because we go back to that very thing that you got stuck on, which I was stuck on as well, is accreditation.
Yeah.
Because that's compliance. That's why compliance matters because it keeps the light on.
So, well,
Yes, sir.
a cosmetologist has to have certification. Yeah,
But officers are certified.
no, well, I'm just giving.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like even the work, like the school. That's why the school's like, oh, universities, they're gonna lose all their enrollment. They're not accredited no more. Like, oh, I'm not accredited. Ain't nobody trying to go to no accredited university.
With the size of Orangeburg County,
Mhm.
in order to grow an agency like Orangeburg County, you have to be minimally state accredited.
Mhm.
You need to. not optional. You need to, because otherwise we're still thinking old school politics. So that's my point. There's nothing wrong with voting, but the thing is, what is your friend doing in office? Just because I invite you to my birthday party, or we might hang out and play ball, that don't mean that I want you to control my own say.
Correct.
That's where the paths. We at the junction. Like I said, we at the junction. This is where we gonna part. I still love you, bro. We gonna see you Saturday.
Yeah.
We gonna see you, Sunday at the family dinner. Like, we're gonna see Thursday night the fish fry the oyster.
Yeah.
But as far as my overall,
No.
that ain't it.
Okay.
So that's the biggest thing. And I think it was you listen to John Maxwell, Lenny? Yeah, he's a motivational speaker, and he has this thing that he speaks of. He said, a pessimist complains about the win, whereas an optimist expects the win to change, but a leader adjusts the sails. And that's what I'm here to present. I'm not focused on where the sheriff's office is in. I'm more focused on where the sheriff's office is going. So again, we appreciate those folks for the years in which they've come. This ain't gonna be a negative campaign. We're running straight off facts.
Okay.
Again, the people need to know this information, because again, when you go to the polls, you can make a very informed decision. 100% informed decision. So again, like I said, it's my job to provide education. We ain't doing no slander, we ain't doing no mudslinging, but at the same time, it's just facts. So that's my expectation. I'm setting live here today. So therefore, but however, if something fires at me, if they fire shot about at me, just know I return fire. So I don't want nobody to say, hey, it's kind of insane to think that you can sit there and hit somebody and think they ain't gonna hit you back. But I like to base everything on facts.
I learned I've been hearing this saying a lot over the past month. Facts over feeling.
Yes, sir.
The truth can never be disrespectful. The truth can never be disrespectful and facts will feeling.
It was a prophet, and it was Prophet Brian Corn. I listened to him. He came to Orangeburg County some years ago, and he was at the Stevenson Auditorium. And he said when he pulled into the community, he got off the interstate, he felt like there was a dark cloud hanging over Orangeburg County. That is why the good Lord chose me as his vessel. I'm convinced that, I'm not going to say that's why, but I'm convinced that is part of the reason why he chose me as his vessel. Okay, go ahead and back the styles off this community. Because we have over 300 churches. How in the world we still so bounded and oppressed and almost in bonfire hell with all this that's going on in this county? That concerns me. It should concern you. It should concern anybody who's listening to this live. And I know we're probably over time, but like I tell you, it goes a lot of impact. And but
the time don't matter because you are speaking. You are speaking what needs to be spoken. And if that makes sense, you are speaking what needs to be spoken. Telling the truth. And this is the thing. Bubba, the people want to hear this. The people know it. This is my thing, because I think I've got on my platform. My platform is small, but has a bigger reach in this community. Has a bigger reach than even I realized in this community. And that this make a difference. To guess what they're gonna say. I'm probably gonna be out. Yes, I saw you on that boy. I got stopped as an older guy, and he just said, "Hey, boy, I seen you." Wait, everybody seen what they first like. I seen Woody on that. He said, "Keep doing it." I said, "Well, I appreciate that because that fit their demographic." Absolutely. Shout out to Devin. He got his audience. Hey, shout out to everybody's been on the platform. So they've all made shout out to Sheldon. I always get Sheldon shout out my biggest YouTube interview. But this could be this interview could be my biggest change in it.
Yes. And we have to carry it forward. We had to say in the Marine Corps that, the guide always carried the guide on. And then always in formation runs, the guy was always at running on occasion. The Marine would jump out formation, grab the guy on and run loop the formation as the leader of the guy. So by the time they run around the back of the formation, come back up front and pass the guy back to the guy. So the formation might still continue. But it's like the military with the change of command, speaking of a guy, where, it needs to come a time that, folks need to realize that they've done all they can do. And that is very honorable when you can actually stop in your tracks and say, I've done all I can do. Not only do I have somebody who's on a campaign journey They're not interested in attacking me.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to drive it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Drive it forward. Until it's my turn
Yeah.
to pass the guide on. So the military they call it change of command. It's simply passing the guide on. You know, every so often the military simply rotate commanders for that reason. After about 3 years, you know, that's the model. But you know, that's the same thing I ask. That's my soft ask. You know, my humble ask. Let me go there. That is my humble ask in this kind of illustration. Simply pass the guide on. We've been fighting. I'm 40 years old here. Orangeburg County has been fighting for all 40 years that I've been fighting.
Yeah.
We need to fight. And I'm just like, wait, what? We have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're not concerned about what we've been. We appreciate it. And again, I can't hate you because you're still a lovely movie.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Just being honest and transparent.
Correct.
You know, so I don't ever even get into that type of tough with you. Because again, when the radio go off, guess what? Guess who's standing there?
Everybody.
Down.
Everybody.
You know, hey, get off my phone, get off my son.
Mm-hmm.
That's not tolerated. No, sir, not here. And another thing, why I'm sending a clear message to criminals too is not any tolerated under my command coming on for a captain. You come into my gates, we're gonna have the front door and the back door covered. So the gates will be covered in on for a captain.
Put it in there.
Yeah. I'm a United States Marine, man. It calls a great concept. You cover the front and the back. The front and the rear. You won't come in this county sideways. Because at the end of the day, our people have a right to enjoy, you know, that peace, that love, and everything else like such. And I promise you, we start moving back up that tick off of that number one spot in crime. You know, that's not a place for any peace. Not just on for a county, but that's not a spot for any. Hey, we're gonna have to share. We're gonna have to share 30 spots. You ain't no number one. We're gonna have to share 30 spots.
That's right. Yeah. I'm about to be there. And also that helps with people wanting to move in areas. They look at that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And then by virtue, you know, go back to the youth portion of the process, doing the summer camps and things. You know, when your kids are exposed out here, your kids, grandkids, great grands, they're exposed. That's what the teachers even get a better quality, can even teach a better quality education. They're like, wait, you know, this little guy, you know, hey, excuse my language, the hell this little last year. But, hey,
You come together.
yeah, you got different opportunities. Like, hey, you actually sitting there doing your work, man. You're charismatic. Like you're not a teacher's help the following year. Like, you know, because I mean, people talk like, oh God, I got this kid. Let's be honest.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Shout out to the teacher.
Hey, 100%. I am an ambassador for education.
Yes.
So I love y'all so.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Great for y'all too.
Absolutely. Love it. Absolutely. Because I mean, we all came out with educators.
Correct.
Yeah. Like I said, Miss Johnson is Miss Hubbard, you know, again from Just Say No Club. And they had us so involved. I even remember the guys, I fell in love with them, you know, because of the Just Say No Club for Critical University. So I started my company down in I was actually start moving. It's with blood.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get to the good. I believe the good Lord's still gonna bless him.
Oh yeah.
But you know, we were so in tune with Miss Johnson, Miss Hubbard, that I even knew the bus drivers still yet today.
Wow.
Mr. Freeman, Mr. Washington, Ben and Linda would be in L Chapel. Davis out of Advanced South Carolina, shout out Advanced South Carolina. So those folks rode hard. The boys rode hard. You know, those years. I mean, the boys rode those motor cars. I'm telling you, just take up the band trip. It's weird and amazing. I thought it was weird and amazing, but you know, just remembering all of that as a child because someone invested in me. I had a village. And matter of fact, shout out to my other mother and my other father, you know, many Tony Fields. Because again, I'm my best friend, mother and father, my best friend, another best friend, Marcus Fields as well.
Okay.
You know, I call him my ratchet. You know, so Jesus had it in a circle. I was going out Sunday. It was ratchet.
Tell you something.
You know,
and we all got it.
yeah.
And if you don't know who that friend is, you are that friend.
But I promise you, if I call, they come around and be like, "No, she is hot and heavy. You can stand by. They're bringing them when they come." And I mean, I thank God for those fellas, man. You know, for their parents. You know, taking them in again. It takes a village. So I have to call all my folks, my aunties, my uncles on both sides of the family, Gap and then Johnson, and so on and so forth. I was really, you must always give gratitude.
You got to.
You got to give gratitude. You know,
so God, if you don't, God will humble you.
Oh, absolutely. And even my pastor, you know, Reverend Priest over at St. Paul Baptist Church.
Okay.
You know, he also called me Brother Darnell, you know, like, hey, man, you know, you teach Sunday school, I'm going to turn you to preacher. And I bust out laughing, that's a long people, you don't get, you know, but my pastor's trying to turn me to a preacher. So he got me teaching Sunday school and stuff. I'm just like, man,
really working on you.
Yeah. I'm like, man, do what?
Shout out to represent that. That's a good man. That's a good man.
So, you know, Sunday school is very interesting. You know, so, I mean, we did well, but, you know,
Okay. Well, we want to let you go, but before we get out of here,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna give you the last word. And just tell the people, and I know you gave some great points today. And everybody don't know. So I'm gonna let you sum it up. Tell the people on the June 11th. Just tell the people. Just have a conversation with them and tell them why they should vote for you. Why should they vote for Bubba Johnson on June 11th, 24th?
Yes, sir. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to start by saying thank you to you for allowing me this opportunity. This evening, using your platform to allow me to communicate with the citizens on behalf of Orangeburg County, because I believe um, knowledge is power. You can never have enough
Correct.
knowledge. But to his point, in conclusion, I just simply want to ask for your vote to simply ask you for my chance at being your sheriff. Again, I'm not focused on what has been. I'm more focused on what is going to be going forward in Orangeburg County. I'm looking to not only grow the sheriff's office, but I'm also looking to provide superior safety for you and your families, whether it be your children, your grandchildren, or your great grandchildren. I'm also looking, from a point of economic advancement, in Orangeburg County as well, because as a business owner myself, I see the importance of economic growth in Orangeburg County because it allows for folks to get not only jobs, but great paying jobs here in Orangeburg County, which as a whole, we can bring together. And last but not least, I expect your continuous prayers and support on this journey. Again, some of y'all don't know me from whatever, but however, I do actually continue prayers and support because I'm convinced that some of your prayers and support is what keeps me high here, high energy. And again, speaking of energy, we're going to keep this energy going forward, Orangeburg County, even after the campaign is said and done. But in the meantime, lock those dates in. June 11th, 2024. Save that date. We're going to have a lot more campaign events coming up starting January all the way up to Election Day. So feel free to follow us on our campaign page of Bubba Johnson Sheriff of Orangeburg County 2024. And also, just again, keep us in your prayers. If you want to stop by and see us sometime, stop by 680 John C. Calhoun Drive. We have a new location that serves as our commercial driver training school, as well as our campaign headquarters. So again, feel free to stop by at any given time. And for some of y'all see us, with the semi sitting over there, so you'll know definitely you're in the right spot.
It's space moment.
So again, I believe I covered all points so far this evening. Feel free to reach out to me via my inbox at Darnell Johnson or Bubba Johnson Sheriff of Orangeburg County 2024. And as relates to all things in Orangeburg County, I'll continue to pray for you, continue to pray for me, and we're going to get this done and, move Orangeburg County forward as we've been so dire and desiring to have and get done. But again, I thank you for your time this evening, and I appreciate you, good sir.
Man, appreciate it.
And, we'll be talking with you here soon shortly. We still have 6 months, 6.5 months to go.
Okay.
So, it's a good ride ahead. So next up, we're going to be in, if I'm not mistaken, we'll be in Utahville for the Utahville Night Parade, Christmas Parade, this Friday night.
Shout out to Utahville.
Shout out to Utahville, Eastern Orangeburg County. We look forward to the night parade. It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
So if you're available, get to Utahville this Friday night. Okay. And then we'll be in North Christmas parade on Saturday, 4 o'clock.
Okay. Well, yeah. Man, you just you got to know all this Christmas parade. So I didn't know you. Sorry, you talking about I didn't know you talking about a Christmas parade. But I guess I learned something new. But thank you for coming on. Thank you on the show, man. Good to meet you. That's a great interview.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, this is Marvin from Marvin Sports and Life. This is episode, I think it's 92. Hey guys, we just moving. I'm gonna say episode 92. I think so, guys. I don't know, but it's a good one. It's gonna be the change. There's no here. I possibly interview the next sheriff from Orangeburg County, guys. We doing things. All right, guys. Signing out.